Hey there, what's going on everybody? Thanks so much for stopping back by the channel. I, of course, as always, am Dr. P, and today what I've got for you is another one talking about the storyline, going over some evidence, and talking about the future. If you like the video, make sure to give me that thumbs up. Let's go for 1,000 likes. That would blow my mind. Also, if you're new, consider subscribing to the channel so you can be up to date, see my videos when they go live instantly, and make sure you're completely caught up with everything going on in the world of Fortnite. Make sure to use my support a creator code, Pineapplez YT, when making any and all purchases in the item shop. I would very much appreciate your support. The Fruit faction always amazes me, and if you want to be featured in an upcoming video just like those guys, those absolute legends, make sure to go ahead and send me a screenshot on Twitter. So what I thought I'd do first is go over the latest patch that we just got for Fortnite Battle Royale. Earlier this morning, of course, on March 20th, there was a new update. It brought along a new weapon and a lot more. Let's go ahead and go over it. So of course, we'll start with the new weapon. It's called the Flint Knock Pistol. It's an extremely unique weapon. There's literally not anything like it in Fortnite. At first glance, you might think it's just an ordinary pistol, but you would be mistaken. This pistol has an incredible knockback. If you shoot this weapon when you're not crouched, you are going to go flying, and you can even make your opponent go flying, any enemy nearby, and obviously the closer you are to them, the further you can send them flying. So just going over a couple of the main points about this weapon, it's found in common and uncommon rarities. Hopefully they'll add more variants in the future. It's found from floor loot. Of course, like I said, it knocks back the shooter, and it can also knock back the target if they're close enough. The closer you are to the target, the further they get knocked back, and the shooter can crouch to prevent the knockback. So if you're not trying to get absolutely flung back when you shoot this weapon, you can be strategic about it, hit the crouch, and you can still send your enemies flying when you're crouched, but you will be immune to it. The close range damage is 86/90, and there is a significant damage fall off at range. So if you're at range, probably not the best idea unless you're using it, using the knockback to like engage. I've seen some crazy plays on Twitter already of people using this weapon like as some kind of a boost to get to high places. You can be really creative with this weapon. It's not only a damage dealer, it's actually really strategic and useful in a lot of situations. You must reload after every singular shot, and the reload time is 3 seconds, so that's definitely a con of the weapon. You're gonna have to be smart about how you're using it and how you're shooting. The impulse grenade has been unvaulted. It's been brought back to the world of Fortnite, and I think personally it's to combat the ballers. The baller, of course, is a vehicle that was recently added to the game. Not sure how many of you guys have been paying attention to the meta right now, but basically getting inside the baller and waiting till late game is such an extremely powerful strategy. There have been instances I've seen on Twitter and social media where the final circle is only like 5 or 6 people in the baller, and it gets incredibly crazy, and that's not exactly how it was intended to be used. So they're using the impulse grenades as a way to combat that late game. If you're in the baller, in the circle at the last second, the impulse grenades are going to fling you back and send you into the storm, so it's going to be less practical for sure. And here is the thing that really makes it good, and I know just by this that it was intended for the baller. Impulse strength against vehicles has been increased by a whopping 344%, so yeah, like it's gonna have some insane and significant impacts on the baller, especially when you throw it down, like I said, at the end of the game when the circle is small. It's really risky to do that now because all it takes is one impulse and you're dead. Not only that, but just in general, impulse strength of explosive weapons against vehicles has been increased by 233%, so it looks like they were really trying to tackle that broken meta with the baller. On top of all of that, the baller's spawn rate has been reduced from 100% to 50%, so they're going to be double as hard to find. If you want to check out the rest of the patch notes, I covered the main parts, but if you want to check the rest of it out, I'll be sure to throw it down in the description for you below. So now I want to give you guys an update, of course, on the helicopter. It's on the move, and it has moved again. This time, it moved a little west of its previous location to this hill near the gas station in the Paradise Palm area, and it's very close to Lucky. There's something different about it this time, though. If you take a look at the direction of the telescope, you can see I'm lining it up right here. it's not pointing at Snobby. It's the first time it hasn't been looking directly at Snobby. Every other time before that and all the other previous 4 spots, it was looking pretty much in the general vicinity of Snobby Shores on the western side of the map, but this time it's angled on Fatal Fields, Salty Springs, and what appears to be Loot Lake, so I'm not sure how that changes things. Of course, the reflection in the telescope is still exactly the same. It does show what appears to be, Snobby Shores, or at least that area. The reflection has not changed, but it is looking in a different spot, so now I'm questioning whether or not Snobby is even involved in this at all, or maybe it's just a reused asset for the telescope. I don't know what's going on, but it is interesting that it's changed its location up a little bit. Well, not its location, but the direction the telescope is pointing, and now we gotta rethink this whole thing. I mean, Snobby is pretty much still in the reflection, so there's a good chance Snobby could still get changed. It is a POI, of course, that got updated earlier this season by a little bit, and it wouldn't surprise me to see it get changed or updated because it hasn't been touched, for the most part in a long time, and it's pretty much dead content. Not a lot of people land there outside of challenges. And I'm not hating on you if you like to land Snobby, you do you, I'm just pointing out a fact. I need to know your thoughts on this helicopter. It's been unbelievably mysterious. We don't know who is in charge of moving it. We don't know why it's here, and we don't really know who is controlling it at all. So I like to find this stuff out. I think we could figure it out at some point in the future, and hopefully that day comes sooner rather than later. I feel like this moving helicopter could be setting us up for a really big in-game event in the future. We haven't had a, major storyline event since Season 6. We had one last season in Season 7, but that was a Marshmallow concert. It didn't have anything to do with the storyline. It was purely for fun. So I'm expecting there to be a big event this season that's going to help progress the storyline. Hey, just some food for thought. We had a big one in Season 4 with the rocket. We had a big one in Season 6 with the butterfly/cube event. And now in Season 8, we're expecting something else. I noticed a pattern there. 4, 6, 8, we're due for a big event soon. Now, I just want to point something out here because I know you guys are probably confused, and this has nothing to do with the video really, but the reason I flew into the storm there was because I was getting chased by 2 people who followed me on my Rift Go, and I was hoping that if I flew into the storm, they would not follow me, but they did, and I ended up killing this guy, and he paid the price. Didn't want to fight them because I was 2v1, but when they followed me into the storm, they entered my abode, and I came out victorious. Let's talk about Kevin. There have been so many rumors and so much speculation going around, especially in the past week, with all this newfound evidence that Kevin will come back at some point, or at least something relating to the cube will happen again. And I truly do believe that's going to happen at some point. There's a lot of overwhelming evidence to back this theory up. Of course, you've got the butterfly imprint and the volcano. It's literally there. Of course, we know why the butterfly relates to Kevin. There was a whole event about it. There's been purple smoke surrounding the volcano in-game. Just last season, the Ice King, when he made that sphere, you'll remember that if you played back then, he actually ended up holding something that was purple and cubish shaped, and a lot of people thought it was a Kevin the Cube fragment. I could literally go on and on and on about why Kevin is coming back. I could point out 5 to 10 different additional facts and pieces of evidence. This might be one of the biggest ones right here. Back in Season 7, you could actually see the outline of a cube, and there's no doubt in my mind that was Kevin. I mean, it was in-game for a long time. Everyone was seeing it pretty much. So yeah, it looks like Epic is doing their best to tease Kevin as many times as they can, and I don't know why they'd do that if he wasn't coming back in some capacity. So now let's look at the main loading screen for Season 8. This actually has a lot of stuff hidden inside of it, of course. You can see the flint knock pistol being held by the Blackheart Pirate. Of course, that was signaling that pistol from a long time ago. The Ember Skin is holding a bow and arrow, which is most likely going to end up being a weapon at some point. You can even see the Banana King's crown and cup that he was raising up in the Week 4 loading screen. So yeah, it's very clearly got a bunch of Easter eggs inside of it. You can even see the volcano erupting in the background. Just so much to decipher from this. But what I want to point out is something that I recently was told and kinda is interesting. I think you guys are going to want to see this. Take a look on the left between the Master Key's legs. You can see what appears to be maybe the top of a cube It definitely has that kind of appearance, and if you compare it to what we saw in the loading screen lobby a while ago, I showed you the picture a second ago, but here it is again, very similar. It's like almost the same, exactly in the same position, in the same way. So I don't know, I'll let you do with that what you will, but make sure to leave your thoughts, ideas, and comments, of course, in the comment section down below. I'd truly appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, guys, peace out.